Once upon a time in the wild, wonderful savannah, there lived a giraffe named Gizmo. Gizmo wasn't just any giraffe. He was the tallest and most giggly giraffe around. His laughter was contagious. If you heard a loud ha 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 echoing across the plains, you knew Gizmo was nearby, probably telling one of his famous and pretty silly jokes. One sunny afternoon, Gizmo was strolling through the savannah, practicing his favorite joke. Why don't giraffes ever get lost? Because they always stick their necks out to see where they're going. He giggled and snorted so much that he nearly tripped over a rock. As Gizmo walked, he noticed some of his animal friends were busy doing their own things. There was Ellie the Elephant, watering the flowers with her trunk, and Zoe the Zebra, neatly arranging pebbles in pretty patterns. Gizmo, still giggling from his joke, called out, "Hey, Ellie! Why don't elephants use computers? Because they're afraid of the mouse." He burst into another fit of laughter. Ellie smiled, but didn't laugh as hard as Gizmo expected. Next, Gizmo sauntered over to Zoe. "Hey, Zoe! Why do zebras never play hide and seek? Because they're always spotted." Another round of laughter from Gizmo, but Zoe just gave him a half smile and continued her pebble arranging. Gizmo thought, scratching his long neck. Maybe my jokes aren't as funny today. As the day went on, Gizmo kept telling jokes to everyone he met. Monkeys, meerkats, even a sleepy lion. But something strange happened. No one seemed to laugh as hard as he did. In fact, some of the animals seemed a little annoyed. Feeling confused, Gizmo decided to visit his wise friend, Mr. Tortoise, who was always full of good advice. "Mr. Tortoise," Gizmo began, "I've been telling my best jokes today, but no one's laughing. What's going on?" Mr. Tortoise looked up slowly, as tortoises do, and smiled. "Ah, Gizmo, my tall friend. Sometimes it's not about being the loudest or funniest in the room. Sometimes it's about understanding when to listen and when others might want some quiet time." Gizmo blinked. "You mean I've been too noisy?" "Not noisy," Mr. Tortoise said kindly, "but maybe a little too focused on your own fun. Everyone loves your jokes, but it's important to respect when they might need space or be doing something important." Gizmo thought about it. Ellie was trying to water the flowers, and Zoe was carefully arranging her pebbles. Maybe they weren't in the mood for jokes right then. The next day, Gizmo decided to change his approach. He walked up to Ellie, who was still watering her flowers, and asked, "Hey, Ellie, can I help you water these flowers today?" Ellie smiled, surprised. "I'd love that, Gizmo." After helping Ellie, Gizmo trotted over to Zoe. "Those pebbles look amazing, Zoe." "How do you make them so perfect?" Zoe beamed. "Thanks, Gizmo." It takes a lot of patience. For the rest of the day, Gizmo spent time with his friends, listening, helping, and learning about the things they loved. And guess what? In the middle of watering the flowers, Ellie giggled at one of Gizmo's jokes. While arranging her pebbles, Zoe chuckled at another. That night, as the sun set over the savannah, Gizmo felt happy. He'd learned that respecting others' space and being a good listener was just as important as telling the funniest jokes. Before heading to bed, Gizmo told himself, "I'll always have time for a good joke, but I'll also make time to listen and respect what others need." And from that day forward, Gizmo's jokes were even funnier because he knew when to tell them and when to simply be there for his friends.